Waropen, a coastal region in the far west of Papua. As in all coastal areas of Papua, there has been significant transmigration here from other islands in the Indonesian archipelago. However, Waropen remains remote as there are no roads connecting it to other regions, and it's not easily accessible from a regional airport. To fly here, one must first go to the island of Biak further north and then travel by boat. So it's costly and very time-consuming getting to Waropen, and to travel inland from the coast is even more of a challenge. And yet this is where WPDC's Papuan partner is heading to build a well. During the last 2 years, WPDC's Papuan partner has been receiving many requests for help with clean water from villages in Waropen. Whilst mountain regions have their own clean water issues, small remote coastal villages all around Papua also struggle to access drinking water, but for different reasons. If you've ever been in an undeveloped coastal area of Australia with dense mangroves and estuaries, you'll be aware that whilst there's a plentiful supply of fish in these areas, finding fresh water can be quite a challenge. Large creeks are tidal and the water at best brackish, and with the usually sandy soil, rainwater filters through quickly, so there are not as many small creeks trickling downstream as in less sandy areas. Many of the people in the Waropen villages were born and grew up there. These are their ancestors' lands, so they do as they've done for so long and improvise for fresh water. Some villages rely on a waterhole in the ground sourced from a small spring. Alternatively, if people can afford it, they might use sheets of roofing iron laid diagonally on small plastic drums or in such a way as to catch the maximum rainwater. Others filter the brackish creek water through handmade filtering systems using old fuel drums and sand. It's a very slow filtering process, but many use it. As you can well imagine, fresh drinking water in these parts is precious and not something to be wasted. Until now, WPDC has been unable to respond to calls for clean water assistance from Waropen owing to the high transport costs in getting staff and equipment there. But WPDC's Papuan partner Lemak came up with the idea of going to the villages which had requested help and carrying out a survey of clean water needs, and then helping the local village leaders to use that report to lobby their local government for assistance. That initiative was a success, and the local government said that if Lemak could return and build one well as a model and thus prove their capacity, then the local government would consider including a well building program in their coming budget and contracting Lemak to build the wells. Local governments in Papua do at times fund well construction programs, but time and time again there is no quality control. In a situation where there's no policing of contractors cutting corners, it more often than not ends up with the well becoming unusable after a short period of time. The wells are made in a hurry, with often a cheap cement mix and a lack of attention to ensure that the pipes are laid evenly. So before you know it, there's a crack, or for some other reason groundwater is leaking into the well. WPDC's partner hopes to work with local governments to improve the situation over time. The wells constructed by our partner are made very carefully, with the goal of providing a reliable and uncontaminated clean water source to families for the next 40 or 50 years. They are wells built by Papuans for Papuans, and there is no profit-making element whatsoever involved. At this time, our Papuan team is on their way from the city of Jayapura to Waropen by boat around the coast. It's a slow trip that will take around 7 days. Please join with us in hope and prayers that through this initiative, the WPDC Lemak Clean Water Program might be able to build not just one village well, but that the work might spread to help many families in need in the Waropen region.